This is the back, the side of the arm, the area us ladies always feel is wiggling and jiggling, but I'm here to show you, obviously, you can have all the muscle, but it's just going to jiggle, okay, to some degree. So if you are obsessed with getting rid of the jiggle regardless, you are never going to get to that place, okay? So we just have to work as hard as we can, both in the gym, also with nutrition. As we've talked about many times on this platform, you can only do so much with the movement if you're not tying it all together with the nutrition, with the stress response improvement, with the sleep quality improvement. So, before I dive into it, if you're not already subscribed to this channel, please do so if you love all things wellness for women over 40. We share healthy recipes, workout tips, full workout routines, and much more. Okay. So, I'm going to show you many of the tricep movements I myself enjoy. Now, whether you are doing a triceps only routine or you're supersetting with other muscle groups, it's really just dependent on what you're used to, what your goals are, what your time allowance is. So, just make sure to do what feels right for you. But at the end of the day, I don't think that many people who are having the goals of being efficient in the gym, time is always of the essence. If you are trying to build lean muscle mass, burn fat efficiently, I really don't think that doing an only triceps workout with only those movements, nothing else, is going to be the most efficient way to tackle it. So typically, when I am programming for clients, I am doing two muscle groups for upper body together. Sometimes we do three, but typically it's two. Lower bodies, usually just lower body. But if you are someone who only has 3 days a week to do resistance training, you might want to do three full body routines or maybe one lower body and then an upper body with three muscle groups and upper body with two muscle groups. That could be something that you do as well. Okay. Or maybe just a full upper body, full upper body, full lower body. Okay. Now, in my opinion, there are great exercises, right? But not every great exercise is meant for each individual person, depending on injuries, depending on the way that your body is shaped and the length of your muscle and just your access to equipment. It just might not feel great to you. There are certain movements I do not do. For one, skull crushers, for triceps. I personally do not feel. I feel it a lot in my joints, in my elbows. So I skip that movement. So I always suggest to any person I work with to not worry about doing all of the movements that you see. If you try it and it just does not feel right after you have perfected the form, then move on to something that does feel right. Okay. But I am making this video today so you can look at these movements and evaluate if you are doing it properly. Okay. So with the tricep dumbbell press. You can do this on a bench. As you see, I'm very uncomfortable because I don't typically do these in this manner. You can do it if you want extra core work on a stability ball. But regardless, you're paying attention to my arms, okay? See how close the dumbbells are. They're not out here. They are closer than shoulder width. I am lowering them down so my elbows are brushing my sides, okay? And then when I'm pushing up, I'm going straight up. Now, I somewhat tilt my dumbbells forward just a bit. So pushing the top forward and then flat on the way down, okay? So you're right at your chest and then you're pressing straight up, okay? Now, many people might not feel it. In that case, I say try a heavier weight because these are very light for me. When I go too light, I am not feeling it in that area. So that is a pointer I would suggest is to bump up the weight. Do not be afraid of getting bulky. It's going to take a lot for that. Okay. So, another movement I'm not going to show you because I don't have everything set up, but is a barbell. So, using the barbell like this, and of course, you would maneuver your bench underneath. You can use a Smith machine if you do not have a spotter or you're not comfortable with it. But it's the same thing. Your hands are going to be right here. And as you lower the bar, notice my elbows are in again, brushing my sides. The barbell should hit right at nipple length or nipple level. Okay. So I would say thumbs to nips, okay? So you're going to be right there and then straight up. If you feel a little bit better going a little bit lower, but you're not going to want to go any higher than right in that chest area, okay? So I like to superset between the barbell. First, I actually like to do it in this order. That's my personal preference, is to do dumbbells, whether you're doing it together or you're doing alternating. You can get real jazzy with it. You can do a one, and then together, then start on this side first, then together. You can do it like that. Regardless, dumbbells first, then you do the barbell. I feel the burn like no one's business doing that. Okay. Now, the movement I said I personally do not care for, you can do it laying down on a bench this way. I've seen people do it perpendicular, but you're holding, whether you're holding a barbell or you're holding a dumbbell, skull pressures, you're coming to your forehead and then you're coming straight up. Okay. Now, I personally do not feel that in my triceps at all. I've tried it different ways. You can even come behind your head and you can do it that way. Now, I do feel that a little bit more. However, it still is, I'm feeling it in areas outside of my triceps to where I feel that if I was going the weight that's heavy enough to actually feel it in my triceps, it would be strenuous on other areas of my arms. So for me, it's a no. There are plenty other movements that I can do. Now, same type of feel, okay, doing the skull pressures, that feel, in my opinion, and you can try this out, and I would love to hear your feedback, is to use either a cable machine or a band. Okay, so if you notice, before I got my nifty cable machine here, I have three wall mounts I got from Amazon. And I have, you just, and they're little hooks, so you loop in your bands, okay? Best thing I did, cheapest thing you can do, and get yourself some bands here. Now, one of my favorite movements is holding a band, or if you have a cable machine, you can do the same. You can use a rope at the bottom. Okay, but elbows, we do not want elbows here. We want elbows here. And you're coming straight up. Okay, straight up. And you can play around with the height because you might feel it more if you're on your knees and you're doing it this way. You might even want to lean forward a little bit, see if you feel it better that way. You might want to just be straight up. You might feel it even better if you're doing a single arm so you can isolate it more. That to me, when I have difficulty with a movement, the first thing I do is try it in a unilateral manner, meaning single arm it. Really try to focus, slow it down, squeeze the muscle, use the right weight before I just rule it out as a no go for me. Okay. But I love that movement. Another thing that I love, so again, you can hook a rope on the bottom. The only thing is when you're hooking it, you have to grab it here and then quickly swing it around. So it's kind of a power move to get it up and not hurt your shoulders, okay? But another movement that I really do enjoy, whether you're using a straight bar or a rope, is this movement here. Elbows locked in, overhead. Okay. So you can use even a band doing this as well. I got my band hooked in here. Same thing. And if you have the handle bands, you can use two handles, okay? Now play around with it. Sometimes holding it higher, you're gonna feel it more. For me, not so much. I like to have it a little bit lower. You can even play around with, okay, do I press down a little bit more or do I press straight out? Every day is a little different. Your body's going to feel it differently depending on what muscle group you're working alongside triceps, whether you're doing back, you're doing shoulders. You might be feeling other things activated to where you have to adjust your positioning. So, this is where you really need to do your best to manipulate your body in a way that you can get the most out of the movement that given day, because sometimes you're going to have to lean differently. You're going to have to angle things a little bit differently. Okay. Another thing I was telling a client of mine about were dips. Now, you can do dips. I don't have the apparatus where you are hanging and you're dipping down and pressing up. Okay. But what I will say about that and the dips using the bench is that your form needs to be impeccable in order to not injure your shoulders, okay? Or even your chest. When you're doing that, you want to lean into it, but you don't want to go so far down to where, again, you're putting strain on your deltoid. So when you're sitting here, the first thing you want to do, and I like to use bench dips, kind of a burner, a burnout set. So tack it on at the end. If you're getting to the end of your workout and you're like, man, I really want to get that lactic acid burning, then this is what's going to do it. Okay. So sit down, put your thumbs under your upper thighs, your lower glute area. Okay. Not too far in there, but just right at the edge. So you can see my fingers are right here. The first thing you're going to do is take just a small little step out, enough to scoot your body just right in front of the bench. I see so many people that are out here. That right away is putting strain on your shoulders. It's not going to be good. Okay. So this is a more modified with my knees bent. Elbows are back. They're not flaring out. Okay. So everything you're doing for triceps, you want to keep those elbows locked in. The more advanced you get, the more straight your legs can be. I'm not going to go down because I do have a shoulder issue. I'm kind of working through. So let's pretend like I'm going down, but when you go down, you want to go to right here, no lower, then press back up. Now, if you want to get jazzy with it, you can work your core a little bit and then have one leg up, and that can be a little core and triceps combo. If you want to have your feet up on a stability ball and you're trying to balance their core work, you can even have your feet up on a Bosu ball if you want it like a little bit, but not to the effect of a stability ball rolling around. That's really good. So those are very good. Now, when it comes to press downs or whether you're doing a single arm press down or you're doing a barbell press down or a rope press down, you want to make sure you are starting at chest level. We're not up here at any point. That's only to get it pulled down to start the movement. Core tight and you're pressing straight down. You see how my elbows are locked in the entire time. And I am going to try to press it down. And typically, you want to move the weight faster on the concentric, so on the exertion. Press it down quick, slow on the way up. Okay. I don't always focus on the speed on the way down as much as I want to slow it on the way up. Okay. So, regardless, don't speed through it. Don't jerk with it. So as long as you're going at a steady pace, but ultimately the goal with weight training to get the most out of it is to move that weight. It's not so easy on more accessory movements like this, but let's say it's a deadlift. You want to move that weight as fast on the way up, slow on the way down. Okay, same thing with squats. You want to try to get it up, slow down, up, slow down, leg press, slow down. Okay. So I'm trying to think of some of the other tricep movements. Kickbacks. I personally, I'm not a huge lover of the kickback. Now, I do feel it more on the cable machine, I will say, when I'm doing a single arm. Okay. So typically, I am doing mine seated. My gym does have a cable machine that has two handles. So I'm sitting down and I'm kicking it back. Now, I want you to play around with your hand positioning because sometimes you're not feeling it so much with a neutral grip, meaning your hands are like this, versus maybe underhand grip and your palms are up. So you're able to really squeeze it back. I mean, even doing it without weight, you can do this 100 times, and that is a workout in itself. If you're squeezing the heck out of it, but notice that my elbows are locked in. Maybe not my elbows so much, but from here to here is locked in. You don't want to get sloppy with your form, okay, regardless of what you're doing. But you can play around with it. You can even do a straight bar. I get creative with my triceps because sometimes I'll be working around my shoulder injury and see I'm doing a reverse. It's kind of like a kickback, but press down at the same time. I could do the handles, the lower handles right here, and then lean over and do it like this, okay? But no swinging, keep everything locked in. That is the key. The last movement I do want to talk about is the tricep push up. Now, I do not know who started with these triangular ditties, but let me tell you, when you're doing it like this, you're not working triceps that much, you're working chest. So, if you have never done this position with your hands for tricep push ups, I would suggest starting with your hands on the bench. Okay. So, you're going to have your hands here, and I'm going to move this so you can see everything I'm doing, clean up my space, and we are going to position it like so. Now, start on your knees, okay? Hands here. When you're looking on the way down, again, hands right at chest level, okay? And you see that my elbows are in, they're not flared out. We're not working chest, we're working our triceps. So start in the down position. Get your hands close enough, feet up, push it up, okay? That is a way to get started. You don't have to cross your ankles, but I think sometimes if our feet are down, then we start getting a little bit lower body with it. So you want to take that out of the equation, however you can do that. And then once you feel better, more comfortable, I should say, you can either move your hands to the ground and stay on your knees, or what I would suggest is just getting up on your toes, stay on the bench and down, straight up. And then when you feel more comfortable, do it on the ground. Okay. That is going to really isolate the triceps, whether you're on your knees, you're on your toes, you have one leg up, you're doing walkouts with your feet up on the bench, a lot of different variations that you can do. But hopefully, this was helpful today, my friends. And I'm trying to think of any other moves that I did not hit on. There's a lot of them, but I did hit on the main ones. And if you think of any I missed, then just drop it in the comments. But as always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day.